Welcome to another episode on our channel. Today we're going to be opening up Thor, a fine art statue from Kotobukiya that goes with the Iron Man fine art statue that you saw just recently on our last episode. This one comes with the shipping box. The Captain America one that I have has a shipping box. The Iron Man didn't have a shipping box. Some people get really, shall I say, finicky in terms of needing the shipping box, perhaps to establish provenance and legitimacy of the item. I'm not that picky myself, but it is nice when you do get the shipping box. I think if someone is going to try to replicate somebody else's work, they're not going to bother with making the art box that the figure is contained in. And if they're going to do anything in terms of the figure, they're going to aim for the head sculpt primarily, and or the clothing, but not the entire figure itself. So I'm not too worried about provenance, but it is kind of nice to have the shipping box. So we'll open this baby up. It's a large box. You won't be able to see me cutting the tape off the top or the bottom, but that's okay. The most important thing is getting it out of the art box. So we will pause now. I will get this out of the shipping box and then we'll take a look at Thor. I consider this an unboxing because I've never seen it before. It's an older figure, true, but it's the first time I'm going to see it face to face. So hang in there. We'll be right back. It is nice when you have plastic that covers the box. It doesn't guarantee it's not damaged, but it does give it another layer of insulation from damage. We won't bother showing you me taking the plastic off, so we'll pause now, but I just wanted to let you guys know this came well packaged. I'm hoping there are some dents and creases in the shipping box, but I am hoping that the box is in pretty good shape. We'll find out soon, though. We are back, and here is the box. The plastic was not taped. It was open at the top, but that's okay. Everybody sends it a different way. There are crinkles, no major big bashing, that sort of thing, but crinkles all over. There's a crinkle here, little tiny split in a box there at the top corner over there too. As I turn it, on this side, you can't see it actually, but there's a little split up here on the top right of the side box. And down here you can start to see, if I can get it back far enough, there's a little crinkle down here. So there's a crinkle here too. You can see that a lot more visible. It is by no means perfect as a box, but I've seen worse. So the most important thing to me is the figure. As you know, with Iron Man, there was a piece of the stand broken. I'm just hoping nothing is broken, or if something is broken, it's a clean break. But we will see. So I don't believe I can open this from the bottom. Let me check real quick. No, I can't open it from the bottom, so I have to open it from the top. So we will pause. I'll open it from the top. We'll get the plastic foam out, and then we'll take it from there. We are back, and the box, there is a big wrinkle on the inside part of the lid, but that really doesn't bother me. When it's closed, you're not going to see that wrinkle. I'm not too fanatical about boxes unless there's a big dent in it or a big crinkle. I've seen boxes a lot worse than this, so this doesn't bother me at all. So I'm going to put this off to the side. All right. And we have the foam box, very sturdy. You know, you'd expect that with a statue. The tape, it's taped up, so it didn't come loose like Iron Man did. The tape is yellow, so I suspect it's been sitting for some time. That's my guess. But let's open this baby up. And sorry, but this kind of establishes a trail for me too when I open things up on YouTube, especially if there's damage. And even though a seller will say there's no damage, sometimes you don't know until you open it up, or there could be damage that it suffered on its way to me. So I kind of want documentation of that process. So bear with me as I open this baby up. Sorry about the noise. Okay. Tape stuck to it. And we've got some instructions here. Oh, you know, we didn't have instructions. I guess that was missing because this comes with instructions. We didn't have instructions with the Iron Man. So that, and since they're basically a set, that leads me to think that the instructions were lost somewhere along the way. This is kind of, I don't know why I'm thinking about that, the game Operation, the toy game. I don't know if anybody remembers that game. You have to be a certain age to remember that game. You were with tweezers, you would pick out pieces from the body, and if your hand was a little too shaky, it would make a sound. So as you were looking at your sensory motor coordination with that game. That made a loud noise. I am looking now underneath, making sure there's nothing up here. Because that really shocked me with the Iron Man when I saw pieces on the top part of the package. That was kind of actually quite freaky. All right, this looks big enough to be the stand. So let's pull this baby out. If I can find a way to grip it. Yeah, this thing is heavy. And it is definitely jammed in there. Or maybe I'm just going at it from the wrong angle. That's it. I need to do it from the base. That helped. And it's substantial again. Okay. It's actually very similar to the other stand, which I was expecting. And some of the metal pieces in it, the purple hues are much more vibrant. You might not be able to tell on your screen, but I can certainly tell looking at this particular base that they're definitely much more vibrant. Just double checking to see if I see any pieces left in holes. So far, so good. All right. Let's see what else we have. It's going to look like a piece for the stand. And so it is. So there's one piece for the stand. Oh, Well, that's interesting. That's a little baby piece for the stand. I don't think we had a baby piece for the other one. Okay, that's more like one of the pieces that we got in the other stand for Iron Man. So there's 3 pieces so far for the stand. Oh, so he does not have his head attached. He's got a really, fighting look on his face. Okay, so his head's not attached. But it does have a very noticeable place that you put it in. That's good. It's not broken. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that's going to come in multiple pieces, it looks like. So this is the cape. Look at how vibrant red that is. There's the cape. Oh, this might be another piece of the stand. So far, we are doing good. I don't see any pieces broken. And this has some purplish hues, more of some of the metal in here. So that's good. Okay. We have a hand with Thor's hammer. So that's good. That's critical. Okay. This looks like come up. All right. Here's the body for Thor. So we have the head that goes in here. Looks like these arms are attached, but the hand goes with a hammer goes on there. Everything else is attached. Okay. Or as one piece, I should say. So let me put him on his back gently. Okay. Let me see if there's anything that I missed. I don't know what this is. Oh, okay. So this goes to his helmet, the wings, right? So we have one, and it looks to be in good condition, and we have 2. Looks in good condition. Wow, okay. Just double checking, making sure I got everything. I think I do have everything. Good. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces to the stand. And this weighs, again, quite a bit. We have Thor's body, his head, his cape. Whoops, there you go. The wings to his helmet. And most importantly, his hammer with his hand attached to it. All right, so we'll pause and I will figure out how to put the stand together, how to get Thor into it, where he goes, and so forth. So I thought I would start with the stand. It has four pieces. And even with the instructions, it's very difficult initially to find all 4 spaces or holes or recessed places where the peg goes. But the smallest piece is probably this piece. And it's the smallest piece that you want, that you're going to look. And this is the hardest opening to find underneath this rock that juts out. And what you want to do, here's the opening for Thor's foot. I'm making sure that's facing you. While it's facing you and you're finding this hole down here underneath this jutted out rock, what you want to do is have the rock kind of angled this way, away from you. So if you put it in at the right position, it's hard to see the hole at this angle, but there you go. It's in there now. All right. And it's angled up away from, like the rocks are just kind of going out. It's going in that direction. The biggest piece, so this is the smallest piece. The biggest piece is next to it. And this piece goes in nicely. This actually has kind of a nose attached to it on two ends. You want the smaller of the two noses facing outwards. All right. So even though it's kind of box shaped, it's really just a touch more rectangular. So there's only two ways it could either fit in. This particular smaller nose jutting out or back towards you. You don't want it back towards you. You want it jutting out. So if you find the opening and you can kind of get it into the hole, this will fit in there very nicely. This piece is the easiest piece to get in. And this basically has not just a rock, piece of a rock, but it has a metal piece attached to it with purple hues. This needs to kind of be going upwards. So you find this hole, not too far away from where you put Thor's foot, on the inside, and then you find the right angle to put it in, and boom, it goes in there nicely. It might wiggle around a little bit. Some of these actually do wiggle around a little bit, but just make sure you find the best place for it to rest, all right, where it feels the most stable. And finally, this piece, this is the bigger piece compared to the smaller piece. And this actually is in there now pretty darn good. But this has a nose right here. So you might be able to, I don't know, see it right here? All right. So this nose is kind of pointing outwards as well. Actually, more to the side. All right. So you can see two places for it to go. It can either go this way or the nose can be pointing in this direction. You want the nose more pointing in that direction. But you want it, when you get it in here, you want to kind of lean it over and then just nestle it in. And then you are good. You've got your stand complete. Now it's a matter of getting the statue in. So let's pause for a second. We've seen the base. We've got 4 pieces. The tiniest piece goes down here, and right next to it, the biggest piece goes in here. Then the metal piece goes next to where Thor's foot goes, and the last piece, which is a little bigger than this piece. They look pretty close. At first I had them, in the wrong places, but this is bigger. This one goes here. And the nose is kind of going out this way. Not towards Thor, but away from Thor. All right? So we'll pause now, and we'll get set up for Thor, and we'll get him on the statue and then do a roundabout and get some close-ups for you. We are back, and I didn't want to waste your time and show you how to do this. This is really a no-brainer. There's a rectangular recessed cavity, and there's only one peg on Thor. So it's going to be the left foot that goes into the tallest piece of the statue. So you just want to make sure that the right leg goes on the right side of the rock, and then you're going to nestle that foot in at the right angle, the peg into the hole. So, and it supports the weight wonderfully. This is where you're starting to get semblance of fluidity and movement. He's really stretching his arms out, and he's like leaping forward. Just wonderful. Then you have your cape. You would want to go in this order because you really don't want to put the head on first and then the cape on. It just won't work that way. But you have a rectangular piece here with a peg that sticks out. And there is a rectangular piece in the back of Thor. So as straight as possible, just have it go in perpendicular to each other, and that will just go in nicely. There's no magnet to hold it in place. It's the recessed cavity and weight that's holding it in place. The next thing is to work with Thor's head. And he's got 2 sets of wings. The neat thing is that the wings have magnets on them, so, and they'll only go in one way. So on one side, what you want are the feathers going backwards, and you want this pointy thing going down. So you just find the angle where that works, and it will hold itself in place. There's a magnet there. It's not going to go anywhere. You want to repeat the process on the other side. Make sure you've got it in there in the right way. And again, the magnet is going to hold it in place. What's even better is there's a magnet here. So it's nicely going to go into the right place when you get it close to the opening in the neck. So he's almost fully together. The last piece we have is the hand. It has a leather looking like it's plastic though, kind of a loop, which is supposed to give it a little more support. The hand is attached to the hammer. The hammer is cool. It says, whoever holds this hammer, if he be worthy, shall possess the power of Thor. So this goes obviously onto this hand. And what you want to do is do your best. The hand kind of goes up and down. I wish it was just one piece, you know, and it didn't have movement attached to it or anything like that. But you would try to put it in with the wrist holder over his arm, like that, over his wrist / arm. And that's probably the most vulnerable piece of the statue. If anything's going to fall, there unfortunately is there's no magnet in there. It's basically this jutting out piece in the recessed cavity that's holding that thing in place. I wish they had put a magnet in there actually. I think that would have been a smart move on their end. So this has limited rotation once you hardly any at all, once you get the wristband around his wrist / arm, like that. All right. Be careful with this piece. If you drop it, I see potential for it to break not only the hammer, but the wrist piece. All those pieces are very vulnerable from my perspective. And since there's no magnet holding it in place, just make sure you got it snuggled in there very good. And if you move it, make sure you move it carefully, or take the hand off before you move it, or take the statue off in the way that I put it on. You know, take the hand off, take the head off, take the cape off, take the body off, then move the stand And if you want to move it with the pieces out of it, that might even be the safest route yet. But here he is. And again, fluidity of movement. You can see he is in action. So with that, we'll pause. We'll get him on a turntable, and we'll see him from different angles. So we are back, and we're going to take a look at Thor. I don't know about you guys, but I love these stands. They're neutral gray. They do have subtle shades of purple in them, a very light purple, but overall they don't take away from the figure. In fact, the neutrality of these colors actually accentuates the colors of the figure. Sometimes with 1/6 scale figures, you have a stand that is very colorful, and it starts to actually compete for your attention compared to the figure itself. So I like the neutrality here, and I just think they're awesome, these stands. So he's got, a lighter shade of blue here that's more vibrant than the more muffled blue, darker blue up here. He's got a gold belt. He's got yellow shoes. He's got the wings on his silver helmet and a bright red cape. There's his hammer, and it has a cool saying on it. I mean, he looks absolutely awesome. Look at the pose. It's like he's leaping forward. And his cape is flowing behind him. This is what I refer to oftentimes as poetry in motion, or fluidity in motion. It is just an absolute work of art from my perspective. Yeah, and he's well balanced. He's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. The stand is a substantial weight, and they've got the proportions down really nicely. I'm trying not to be hit by the hammer here as I have him go around. All right. But he looks formidable. And wow, that look on the face, you wouldn't want to mess with this guy, that's for sure. There we go. Thor. Now we'll pause and get some tighter close-ups. I probably won't do a full go around, but just one profile to the other side. And then we'll get a close-up of his face. Here we are back again, and we'll just do each profile so you can kind of see more details with him. That menacing look, the hammer, the muscles throughout his body. Oh my gosh, the cape that's flowing out. And then we'll go to this other side, and you can see more of the flowing cape in his outstretched arms. Yeah. And that leaping motion that he has going on. Just fantastic. So we'll come back to the center where we started. A little more to the center, I should say. There we go. Yeah. We'll get a close-up of his face now. Here's a close-up of his face, and those eyes are very intense and very deep. The teeth, I mean, it's almost like he's gritting his teeth together. He's kind of saying to me, whatever fight we're in, I'm up for it. And you better take care. Here's one last look at our fine art statue of Thor. He looks absolutely amazing. So after Thor, well, first of all, we saw Iron Man. Now we've seen Thor. We'll see Captain America in our next episode, and then we'll put all three characters together so that you can see them in different positions with different figures in the foreground. You could Thor in the foreground, Iron Man in the foreground, or Captain America in the foreground. No matter where you position them, it'll look great. So I hope you've liked what you've seen. If you have, consider giving us a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. In the meantime, everyone, have a great day.